This short YouTube video is going to be about the technology that I have used in different courses that I've taught. So before I share the list of technology that I've used, and actually you'll find as you see the list that I've been using it in this class as well. But I would like to share a few thoughts with you first. First of all, and those of you that were on the Collaborate session the other night realize that technology can be a challenge at times, and so really you want to keep it simple to start with. Also, only use it if it's going to help. Don't use it because it's like everybody's talking about this latest app that's out there, and so you want to jump on the bandwagon and use it. Only use technology if it actually helps you do the learning activities or complete an assessment activity. You also want to remember to use it to encourage those interactions that we talked about and learned about in the necessary components for a blended course. So the learner to content, so like as you listed in the quiz, that's video, audio, reflection blogs, discussion boards, any place where you can give the information to the student and they can actually interact with that. Also learner to learner. I don't know if you've ever considered it, but setting up a study group in your Blackboard course. You could set it up that it allows, in Blackboard, when you set up a group, you can allow for manual, I can't think of the word that I'm looking for, but where they can choose to join the group if they want to, and then you kind of let them go and they work together on difficult problems. You can also facilitate this and put people into groups and force that interactivity to happen as well. Also encourage the use of social collaboration, and you really don't necessarily always have to encourage that. Like the Facebook, I know that I had groups last year that loved using, they created a landing page in Facebook, and then they used that as their place that they met to work on a project together. I also had a group that did this last summer in a totally online class. So think of, these social collaboration tools that are out there that the students are already using. I didn't list Twitter here, but I am going to introduce that because I feel like it's becoming more and more popular and something that you probably should, look at as well. And then, of course, the learner to instructor interactions. Use rubrics. Make sure that you're giving feedback to the students. The rubrics allow you to give that personalized feedback, but it probably won't take you as long as if you had to grade an assessment without using a rubric. Also remember to be active in the discussion boards or wikis or blogs or whatever you put out there. You don't have to be like responding to every single person, but you do need to read them, and then you need to use that information that the students have provided you to either provide them with feedback or incorporate it at the end. Like you've noticed, I've probably incorporated different things in some of my weekly videos. That just makes the students feel better. Everybody likes to hear their name. So, if you make a call out to say, Nikki, great job, or something like that, it's like, wow, she probably is reading. So just think of that as well. And then use it as you design the course. So the other part that you learned about in the important components for a blended course were Bloom's and the different cognitive levels. So if you're thinking about like the before class period, and you're probably going to get sick of me saying this, but this is really important, you can do those online quizzes. There's flashcards out there. Internet, you can have them even just do a simple internet search for information. I'm sure that a lot of you are going to come up with some cool tools for doing this remembering, understanding as you search for technology tools this week. Yes, as you search for them this week. So that's just a couple of thoughts there. And then at the applying level, perhaps a simulation, have them present information, analyzing rubrics, peer review, evaluating, have them moderate a discussion board, collaborate together, have the team create a video or a podcast where they have to actually present and or teach their findings to the rest of the class at the creating level. And then you can also use it for assessments, formative, like multiple choice quiz, matching, exit slips. The other night at the end of at the end of the Collaborate session, I had you complete an exit slip via Socrative. This is a super cool tool. It allows you to throw something out online. The students just go into the room. They can easily access it with their phones, which if they don't have access to a computer in the room, most of them, I would say always about 99% have access to a phone. And so then you can just easily get that information back from them and adjust your teaching accordingly. So some tools that I've used are infographics, and I haven't actually made a lot of infographics, but as you notice, like when you come in, I've shared them in different areas. There are tons of infographics out there. You can go on Pinterest and just search education infographics. You can do that type of a search on the internet. But the latest research is showing that students really do retain the information from an infographic more effectively than they actually do, like, say, reading a textbook. So if you can find something that aligns with what you're doing, certainly go ahead and grab those and either add them into a session or bring them into the classroom, pull them up, have them do a search during class, something like that. Socrative, I talked about that in the last slide, so I'm not going to go over that again. MoveNote is another really nice, easy tool to use. It is free. You can use it on your iPad and or your PC, which is really, really nice. I use that for the introduction to one of the weeks. What I like about it is you can actually record yourself, which I don't always like to see, but whatever. And then you can have your slides right next to it, so it's very easy to, produce and share the link and have everyone look at it. I like Educreations. I have not used it yet this term, but I will get out there and use it for sure because there's a lot of really neat features about it. Once again, it's free. It's super easy to create a presentation and share it with other students. One of the reasons I haven't used it this term yet is you can type on it, but you can't import like PowerPoints into it like you can do with Explain Everything. So that's one of the reasons why I use Explain Everything. The other thing that is a little bit frustrating is if, say, you get down to your 5th screen and you make a mistake, you have to start all over again. So that's another reason why I don't use it quite as often, but it definitely is a good tool. And then Explain Everything, that's what I'm using with this particular, for this particular presentation on my technology tools. They keep getting this better and better. I think I paid $4.99 for it, but it was well worth every penny I spent because it allows you to easily import information from your storage areas like Dropbox, Google Drive, your computer, wherever you have it, and just easily bring it in and add it to their screens. So I truly, truly like it a lot, and it was definitely worth every penny spent. The other thing is once it's done, you can create a YouTube video, which is going to be super cool for this particular lesson because I'm also going to use TED Ed and have you watch this YouTube video and use the components from TED Ed with that as well. Another really good resource, if you want to go out and check this out, I heard the speaker, Dr. James May, at a conference I attended last year. He was awesome. His teachertricks.org website is just really full of a lot of cool, really interesting things for you to do in your classroom. Most of them would not take you hardly any time to do, but they're just like really different ways at looking at using technology. I know he introduced himself. He had Google Glasses when he was flying into the conference, and he created a video while he was at the airport waiting for his second flight. And all I'm going to say was it really was interesting and kept your attention. So, very creative person. I highly recommend you check that out. And I use his different things from him all the time. And finally, I gave you a link to PowerPoint game templates. I know that there's actually one on the faculty resource webpage, which I would highly encourage you to check out as well because there are a lot of tools out there and we just keep adding to it. So I highly recommend that you go out there and check out that as well. But if you don't have access to it, here's some PowerPoint templates that you can use like for Jeopardy and different games like that. So I hope you enjoy this, my technology that I'm using, and also the ability to use TED Ed with a YouTube video that I easily created with Explain Everything.